How's it going, YouTube? Scatter Report here, back at you with another deck profile. As many of you know, Tournament of Power hosted by Daylon Mac and my team Shenron's Lair is coming up soon. So if you're going to be in Vegas, make sure to go to that tournament. I can't wait to see everybody. But I'm going through one of the lists that I've been working on heading into this tournament, which is the Piccolo Surge leader. I know it's a very popular leader, so if you're looking for like a shell to start off with and preparing for this tournament, this is a pretty good starting shell. So for those of you that don't know what the leader does, Piccolo, at the beginning of your turn, you get to look at the top card of your deck, and you can put it at the bottom of your deck, or you can keep it and draw it, which is really strong. It just lets you cycle through a lot of your deck and like keep the pieces that you need, and anything you don't need, you just put back at the bottom of your deck. And then for a Surge, you put a blue and green under it, draw 3, untap 1, and on his backside, you can remove a card from behind it and have your opponent warp 2 cards, or you can charge like a multicolor energy from your drop area. So going into the main deck, we have 4 of the Android 18 super combos. So this is the new dual color green blue from set 9. And she's really cool because she kind of fits the theme of hand destruction in this deck, where your opponent chooses a card from their hand and puts it at the bottom of their deck. And then we play 4 of the blue-green Goku Gohan from Draft Box 4. So this card pairs really nice with the new super combo, because since she's both blue and green, she's just a 1-card arrival for the Goku Gohan. And then that's 2 cards that you get to take out of your opponent's hand. And then we run 4 of the Android 17 check land. It's a blue-green deck, and it's a free charge, so we like our free charges. And then we play 4 Hidden Potential, one of the best extra cards in the game right now. It just hits a lot of things. It makes it really hard for your opponent to create a board, and untapping an energy lets you still keep up energy for defense like negates. And then we play a Successor package, well, more like just a generic green-yellow line. Starting off, we have 2 of the 6-drop Cell. So this is also new from set 9. And this guy Successors for 6, and that you tap a green and a yellow, and then he gets to pop an opponent's battle card, ignoring barrier. And then when your opponent gets rid of this card, you get to draw 3 cards. So he's really nice because we run 4 of the Magnificent Collection Brawley. Brawley is a 6-drop, so it pairs really nicely with the Cell. And Brawley just does everything you need it to in this deck. If your opponent's trying to go in with big cards early, like a baby deck or any early Successor decks that go into 8-drop Gohan, he can pop them. He's really good against the new Teen Gohan lead too, because if they activate their ability to restand and then awaken and give it triple strike, you can arrival Brawley and tap their leader, since it's already inactive during your combo step. And it takes away 1 attack from that leader, so if they want to go in again that turn with triple strike, then they have to crit their life and they have to kill you that turn, or they lose. And then we run 2 of the new 9-drop Super 17. You already know Super 17 is my favorite character, so I have to make this card work. And so far it's been absolutely amazing in testing. Just since your leader doesn't have to attack to gain advantage, you can just sit back, draw a bunch of cards, and then play this and crit your opponent for 4 life. It's pretty ridiculous what it does. And then we run 3 Saiyan Instincts, the Goku ape that draws 2 from the draft box. This card is just very important at this coming meta because hand destruction is very powerful. So being able to just recoup your hand is really important going into this new meta. And then I play 2 yellow Roshi negates and 2 of the new green Android 17 negates from the Expert deck. And I run a 2-2 split of these because 1 is yellow and 1 is green. So they both do the same thing, negate for 1. You don't get the effect of the Android 17 because it's not an Android leader, but him being green is just important because they help you arrival into your Brawlies. It's also nice because since they're 1-drops, they make 6 with the Goku Gohan. And 6 is an important number in this deck. Then I play 2 of the Master and Pupil Gohan from Draft Box 4. So this card I prefer this card over Android 15, just because Android 15, if your opponent doesn't attack you, you have to attack them. But being able to activate this and then bring it out on your opponent's turn just means that they can't like Vegeta the Cruel it. So it's just less outs to it, and you don't have to take a life for it. So it's a lot better middle to late game. Then I play 3 Vegeta the Cruel. Again, it's a 5k green card that has a good counter effect to it, so it's just generically good in this deck. And plus 3-drops are really important. As you'll notice, the Gohan's a 3-drop, Vegeta's a 3-drop, and those all make 9 with Brawley or Cell. And then we play 2 Trickster Champa. Again, he's a yellow 5k, just synergizes really well with Vegeta the Cruel and Gohan. And if you get multiples of these guys out, sometimes you can just stack 3 of them for your Super 17 and you're good to go. And then we have 2 Frost Deadly Poison. So Frost Deadly Poison and Saint Instincts are the 2 cards on my list going to this format where if I'm playing a deck at a big event, I want these 2 cards in my deck just because they do too much for the meta right now. Like I said, Saint Instincts against hand destruction, it just lets you recoup your hand. Frost Deadly Poison just deals with a lot of important threats right now, like a lot of the successor stuff, like against my deck, you know, if you can Frost Deadly Poison Super 17, obviously that's really good. And then generic blue cards, we have 4 Beams. Again, Beam is just an amazing card. It lets you do a lot of different combos on your turn, being able to arrival and then success from the same turn. This card just facilitates that. Dimension Magic, 4 of, because this card is way too important this meta. Cards like this and Coercion are just really good against Teen Gohan. They just allow you to live. So yeah, Dimension Magic is probably one of the best negates going into this new format. And then we have the Xeno Cell, which is the new secret rare from set 9. So this card is absolutely amazing in this deck because there's a bunch of different ways you can bring him out. He's very easy to bring out in this deck, and he just comes down, ends games. Being able to take cards from your opponent's hand and then swing for Quad Strike is ridiculous. Like I said, Frost Poison is an amazing card this format, but it doesn't touch this dude because he has Deflect. Obviously, things like Trickster Champa can stop it, but it's really nice because since he comes out for free, you run 4 Hidden Potential, there's really not that many outs that people have to this card when you're running it in this deck, because you just get to play him, and if they try to Trickster Champa it, you just Hidden Potential, and then he gets a free swing pretty much. So he's just absolutely ridiculous. And then rounding out the deck, we have 1 Fu Shroud of Mystery. This has been one of my favorite cards for a long time. I ran it in my list in Vegas, and I just been running it in pretty much everything I play now. This guy just comes out, and if your opponent doesn't have the answer for it, then it's just game over. Like I said, Frost Poison is a very important card this meta, so Fu might lose a little bit of steam going into TOP, but it's still just one of those cards where if your opponent doesn't respect it and keep the energy up for it, then you can just slap this down and end the game instantly. So yeah, that's basically the deck. You know, I really like this deck because obviously I like hand destruction. A lot of the decks I play involve hand destruction, but there's a lot of different ways you can play this deck. You can sit back and just kind of counter everything your opponent does, and then when you have the opportune moment, you can go in with like your successors and your rivals, and you can even play more aggressively because a lot of your stuff is 1-for-1 trading with your opponent, so it's almost like a lot of your attacks are just crits anyways because you're just constantly taking cards out of their hand, especially with your leader too. So you trade very favorably on the offensive side as well as the defensive side with this deck. So if you're just looking for a really well-rounded deck that has really good matchups across the board, this is a good place to start. You know, just change it up to your preference. I've been testing this a lot, and it's not necessarily my final build, but I think it's a really good starting build for you if you're looking for something very competitive to play for regionals and TOP coming up this next weekend. So yeah, just leave any comments down below on things you like about the deck, things you'd like to change. Give us that like, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, I'll see you this weekend.